It's Election Day 2022, and tonight we have everything you need to know about the biggest races in Missouri.
We have reporters across the state bringing you up-to-date results and reactions the minute we get them.
Mid-Missouri's most comprehensive on-air coverage of Election Day 2022 starts now. This is KOMU 8 News at 10.
This is a KOMU 8 News special report. Smart Decision election coverage.
We have live team coverage across Missouri right now. Our crews are standing by with up-to-the-minute results of all of the state's biggest races. Good evening, everyone. I'm Emily Spain. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Again, we're following multiple races tonight. Let's start with the race for the U.S. Senate seat currently held by retiring Senator Roy Blunt. The Associated Press declared Republican candidate Eric Schmidt as the projected winner in that race. Let's take a closer look at the results so far. With 51% of precincts reporting, Schmidt has 58% of the vote. Democratic candidate Trudy Bush Valentine has 40% of the vote. And KOMU 8's Rachel Henderson is live in St. Louis County at Schmidt's watch party where he spoke just a few minutes ago. Rachel?
Emily, Schmidt just came out and just finished addressing the crowd here tonight, who was super excited to hear from him. This was his first time coming out tonight, and everyone was cheering loudly, laughing, and super excited overall. Schmidt said that this win isn't just about him, but it's about all the hardworking Americans who have suffered for too long.
The voters have spoken. The polls have closed, and the results are in. Tonight, the people of Missouri have voted for a new direction and a new generation of leadership to save America.
Schmidt went on to continue to thank his supporters and his family for being here tonight. The energy in the room, as you can see, is super high right now, so stay tuned to KOMU 8 News on TV and online to hear further updates. Reporting live in St. Louis County, Rachel Henderson, KOMU 8 News.
And continuing our team coverage tonight, we're going to send it out to another watch party in St. Louis where we hear from Blake Phillips about Trudy Bush Valentine. Blake?
Emily, yeah, we did just hear from Trudy Bush Valentine in her concession speech. She fought back tears while thanking Missourians for all their support. She went on to add that while the result was not what she expected, she did wish Eric Schmidt well. She also added that she will never stop fighting for Missourians.
Thank you so much again for your support. I love Missouri. I'm so proud to call it my home. I'm so grateful to live here, and I will continue working every day to make sure Missouri is the best it can be.
She stayed around to hug and thank all of her supporters individually before departing just a short minute ago, actually. For now, reporting live in downtown St. Louis, Blake Phillips, KOMU 8 News.
Now we're taking a look at Amendment 3. This would legalize recreational marijuana in the state of Missouri, and it's a tight one right here. This is with 45% of those precincts reporting. Right now the yeses have it at 51%, but again, it's tight. The noes, 49%, so just a 2% margin right there. KOMU 8's Lacey Reeves is live at the Mid-Missouri Normal Watch Party, where supporters of Amendment 3 are waiting to see if it will pass. Lacey, what you got for us?
I'm at Grand Cru Restaurant here in Columbia, where members of Mid-Missouri Normal, as well as local dispensaries and MU's Normal group, are here gathered awaiting those results. Now they have a banner up as well as campaign signs, and they have NBC's KOMU 8 News on in the background waiting results. If the amendment were to pass, that would mean that those who were 21 and older would be allowed to buy, sell, grow, and use marijuana. The state would tax 6% on the sale of recreational marijuana. That collected money would go into Missouri's Veterans Health and Community Reinvestment Fund and toward court costs. It would also pay the legal fees to expunge people for marijuana offenses. Some previous marijuana offenders could get a clean record and possible release from prison, jail, parole, or even probation. Now the watch party will go on here until midnight, or if the race is called, and we'll keep you updated on air, online, and our social media. Reporting live in Columbia, Lacey Reeves, KOMU 8 News.
And of course, Amendment 3's critics are split between people who don't want recreational marijuana legal in general and some groups who support marijuana legalization, but not the way that it's happening in this specific amendment. KOMU 8's Jackson Valenti is here in the studio. And Jackson, why are some marijuana advocates against the amendment? Can you explain?
Emily, some marijuana legalization groups don't think Amendment 3 will fully decriminalize marijuana. The amendment does not allow marijuana use in public, and repeated offenses could result in a charge. The amendment creates a limited amount of licenses, and there's concern that amendment will lead to consolidation in the marijuana industry. Meanwhile, civil rights activists are concerned Amendment 3 will disproportionately hurt minority communities by keeping them out of the industry. The Missouri marijuana legalization movement plans on proposing a ballot initiative to give more protection to marijuana users if Amendment 3 passes.
They don't want to end prohibition. They don't want everyone having the right to grow. They don't want everyone having the right to apply for a license. They want to maximize their profit and control the industry. And that's what A3 will do.
If Amendment 3 passes, marijuana advocates want to push for legalizing marijuana use in public through a ballot initiative. They also want the law to allow for easier access to people wanting to enter the marijuana industry. In the studio, Jackson Valenti, KOMU 8 News.
Next, we head on to the hotly contested race for Missouri House District 47. This was Republican Chuck Basie's seat, but he can't run again because of term limits. Let's take a look at those results here with 48% of precincts reporting Adrian Plank, the Democratic candidate, sitting at 54% of the vote, and John Martin, the Republican, has 46% of the vote. And we were at both Adrian Plank's election watch party tonight and at John Martin's as well. KOMU 8's Reagan DeTrolio's in the newsroom on the MU campus to tell us about both of their campaigns. Reagan.
Emily, although we do not have results in yet for the House District 47th race, both watch parties I was at tonight were very lively. Adrian Plank's watch party was at the roof and many people were there, including his family, friends, and other Democrats in the area. John Martin's watch party is at the Republican headquarters, along with several other Boone County Republican candidates. We spoke with both Plank and Martin on what they want their voters to know if they do win tonight.
First things I want to do when I'm elected is just jump right in and see the different opportunities to grow our state economically, job opportunities and job growth, skill development, things like that. Also jump right in on how we can improve our schools.
I think it's important to let voters know, regardless of your party affiliation, I'm there to represent people, and those people in the 47th need that representation, regardless of how extreme one side or the other is.
And this is Plank's third time running for this seat, and this is John Martin's first time running for political office. Tonight, they both told me they feel confident to win. Live in our newsroom on the MU campus, I'm Reagan DeTrolio, KOMU 8 News.
Next, we have the race for Missouri's 4th congressional district. No matter what happens in this election, the winner will be a freshman representative for the freshly drawn district. Take a look at these results. 86% reporting Mark Alford with the Republican, 73% of the vote. Jack Truman, the Democrat, 24% of the vote. We're going to send it out now live to KOMU 8's Raina Katko, who is at those watch parties in Raymore as candidate Mark Alford gave his victory speech tonight to supporters. Raina.
Emily, I'm here at Tavern on the Moor as more and more of Alford's supporters are actually leaving. And as you can see, they've taken down most of the decorations. That's because Alford declared himself the winner of this race a little over an hour ago. Here's what he had to say.
We have put down our microphone and we are picking up a megaphone for the people of the 4th, and Monday we go to Washington to begin the work for you, the people of the 4th Congressional District of Missouri.
While he declared himself the winner, the AP has not declared a winner of this race. However, whoever wins will take over Vicky Hartzler's seat in Raymore. Raina Katko, KOMU 8 News.
We're following a number of other races. KOMU 8's Taylor Freeman is watching those numbers come in for some statewide races. There's a lot, Taylor.
Yeah, Emily, let's start with Missouri House District 44. This district still includes Centralia and Hallsville, but no longer includes parts of Randolph County. It's now entirely in Boone County and has added all of southern Boone. So let's go ahead and take a look right now. So with 48% of precincts reporting, incumbent Cherie Tollison Reich, the Republican, has 62%, where David Rathel, the Democrat, has 38% of the vote currently. Now let's go ahead and turn over to Missouri House District 50, which represents Boone County. Current Representative Republican Sarah Walsh did not run for re-election. Here we have 52% of precincts reporting. Douglas Mann, the Democrat in that race, has 57%, while James Musgraves, the Republican, has 43% of the vote. Now let's take a look. Cole County voters are picking their state House representative today in the 60th district with 100% of precincts reported. Looks like Dave Griffith, the Republican, has 62%, while Don Salcedo, the Democrat, has 38% of that vote. In District 49, which includes most of southern and central areas of Callaway County, let's go ahead and look. 100% of precincts are reporting. Jim Schulte, the Republican, has 72%, and Jessica Sliz has 28%. Turning to the state's 10th Senate district now, representing Callaway and Montgomery counties, as well as parts of Mexico, Fulton, and Jeff City, with 82% of precincts reporting. Travis Fitzwater, the Republican in that race, has 80% of the vote, while Catherine Dreyer, she's the Libertarian candidate, has 20% of the vote. And to State Senate District 18 right now, representing Macon, Moberly, and Mexico, with 92% of the precincts reporting, Ayanna Shivers, she has 24% of the vote, and Cindy O'Loughlin has 76%. And now let's turn to the race for state auditor. Democratic incumbent Nicole Galloway announced back in June of last year she would not run for re-election. So now let's take a look. With 50% of precincts reporting, Kyle Riemann has 52% of the vote, and Jason Gibson, the Republican in that race, has 48%. That's a tight one for sure. So we'll have a full list of election results on our website at KMU.com. We'll be watching the results come in for the rest of the night, but for now, let's send it over to our chief meteorologist, Matt Beckwith, for an update on the forecast. Matt.
All right, Taylor, thank you. Taylor and Emily both working very hard right now to bring us those latest results. We're going to continue to check in with them throughout this broadcast. A lot of cloud cover with us right now over central Missouri. That's going to continue as a warm front starts to push our way. This is going to be responsible for a big increase in temperatures tomorrow. Our forecasted high temperature, 80 degrees. The current record high is 78 from 1999. From there, we're going to have another warm day on Thursday. Then a cold front arrives and the bottom falls out. We're going from 80 degrees as the high temperature on Wednesday to 20 degrees as the low temperature for Saturday night. We're going to take a full look at this cool down, plus a chance of rain and that colder air filtering in. That's in my full forecast later on in this broadcast.
Okay, thanks, Matt. Here are the results of some of the other races we're watching. Our election night coverage continues after this short break. And welcome back. You just saw some results there from some of the races we're following tonight. Remember, you can find a full list right now on KOMU.com. Let's move on now tonight with the race for Boone County Presiding Commissioner. The seat is up for grabs after current Commissioner Dan Atwill announced he will retire after 12 years in that position. We've got 50% of precincts reporting. Democratic candidate Kip Kendrick coming in with 57% of the vote. Connie Leopard, the Republican candidate, with 43% of the vote. KOMU Bates' Eleanor Sheehan spoke to both presiding commissioner candidates today. And Eleanor, how are they feeling about their campaigns when you talk to them?
Both candidates told me they would not do anything differently. Looking back at their campaigns, Leopard says this has been a rewarding experience all around, while Kendrick says he will continue to be a public servant whatever the outcome is. Leopard is currently holding an election watch party at Shakespeare South. Family, friends, and voters came out to support Leopard. Meanwhile, Kip Kendrick and his team of interns and a large group of supporters are in North Columbia at Big Daddy's Barbecue. I asked both candidates what their steps would be next if they were to get this position, and they said they are excited to get to work.
I know I'll be working with the current presiding commissioner to kind of get eased into the jobs, because I think that's a good transition that needs to happen for the county.
I'm going to continue doing the same thing that I've done for my entire life of public service, and that's being a true public servant, working on good governance, always listening, learning.
Both candidates have had different approaches to their campaigns. Kendrick spent his time door knocking with just over a total of 47,000 doors knocked. Leopard, however, attended almost every single Boone County Commissioner meeting this year. In the studio, Eleanor Sheehan, KOMU 8 News.
Here's what's happening right now. The race for state senator in Georgia is a close one, with Herschel Walker currently leading by 0.9% over Raphael Warnock. 86% of the expected vote is in. That will be a race we will watch all night long. Matt.
Weather.
Here's what's happening right now. The Associated Press has called the U.S. House District 3 race for Republican candidate Blaine Luetkemeyer. He was running against Democratic candidate Bethany Mann. Again, that race has been called in the favor of the Republican candidate. Luetkemeyer coming in with 76.4% of the vote so far, and Mann had 23.5%. Of course, more precincts still need to be reported, but again, AP has called that race in the favor of Blaine Luetkemeyer. We have more results to share here in Missouri. Let's go back to Taylor Freeman, who's watching some of those votes. Taylor, what you got?
All right, well, Emily, let's get everyone up to date on some local races and issues that we're following here tonight. Let's go to the Cole County Presiding Commissioner race. Republican incumbent Sam Bushman is looking for re-election after nearly a year in the position. He faces independent Carla Malone Steck. With 100% of precincts reporting, Sam Bushman has 74% of the vote, while Carla Malone Steck has 26% of that vote. And people in Centralia, Harrisburg, and Rocheport are all voting on a use tax. Here's a look at the results so far in Centralia. 100% of those precincts reporting. It looks like no has 61% and yes has 39%. So in Harrisburg here, the numbers looks like we have 83% reporting. That's no has 75% and yes has 25%. That's the Harrisburg use tax. And in Rocheport, a Wayfair use tax is on the ballot. The results so far, it looks like we have 100% reporting, and that's 60% yes and 40% no. Again, you can follow the results online at KOMU.com. We'll be right back after the break with sports.
Our Smart Decision coverage will continue with another update in about a half hour.
And of course, you can follow everything on KOMU.com.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Have a good night. And here's your 8-day forecast.